Okay, so I will be starting because this is actually a very short presentation. My name is Sergius, and I am your host today. I will be anchoring this topic, self-love. So this is a second live I'm going. One was last week. I talked about how to be happy, and today I'll be talking about self-love. And it's a very interesting topic to me because over time I've noticed that a lot of people I meet in the hospital who have maybe one, don't want to use the word habits, um, ill habits or something, but let me just say exactly what it is. Like some people I meet in the hospital, maybe asking them, do you smoke? Do you drink? And they say no, they don't smoke, they don't drink. Some of them actually, it comes with a bit of like some of them will just tell you, I know that I'm a weird person, like, that kind of thing. So that gets me, wondering what has the society actually put in us? How has the society succeeded in changing our mindset so badly that we would be imagining if we have a good habit, like you don't smoke, you don't drink, you exercise, no sedentary lifestyle and all that, and you feel bad about it, like you literally feel bad about it, which shouldn't be. I think it's something that the society and the media and people have sold to us. Like you see your friends hanging around, drinking, binging, and all that. And that's what people generally want to consider as normal. While, trying to cut down on your alcohol and staying away from tobacco and all that is now what is abnormal. And that's actually a problem as far as I'm concerned. Now, so talking about self-love, it's not the bubble bath and affirmation. They are all part of it, but that's not just it. Go way, way deeper than that. Now, first, before I start, because I will need to go through telling you what is self-love, how does it differ from self-care? What about how do you start cultivating or developing or deepening this self-love? And who needs self-love? Okay, there are, some of these things we need to address them. Now, so if you constantly find yourself somehow or sometimes so much criticizing yourself or feeling quite inadequate or maybe putting other people's first before yourself, or maybe you personally want or think you deserve to go deeper in loving yourself, I think you should be listening to this because this will actually change the way you see things. Now, before I get started on, explain to us what self-love is, I need to make this known to you. There is a kind of a change in perception, how we see things these days. One is like, take an instance, your taste bud. Your taste bud, if you feed your taste bud on high salt content food, then your salt appetite will be very high. That anytime the people cook normal food that should be salty to you, it doesn't taste salty. This is human for you, and this is how our brain works. So what happens with this is that what the implication of this is that the society and what our eyes have seen over time has made us to adjust, what is normal. And we are focusing more on more of what is abnormal has become more interesting to us than what is normal. And it's just how the brain works. Then second way to also see it is this thing called emotion. What your body needs and what you need in terms of being on the positive to take care of yourself are not exactly they don't overlap with your emotion or your feeling. Sometimes your feeling is quite off from what you should be doing to take care of yourself or to show yourself love. An instance I like, giving an instance so that these things or the information will sit very well with you. In those days, when, or rather with my friends, I observe sometimes that people, when they get paid their monthly pay, they feel like they've actually gone through a lot. And honestly, they've gone through a lot. 30 days working, some of them actually take extra shift and they don't rest. And at that point, they feel like, I think I need to take care of myself. I need to show myself some love. And some of them, what they do is that, so what do you need to do to show yourself some love? Then some people end up going to binge on alcohol. Some people go hang up with friends and, all manner of things actually in the name of self-love. And some you just order 1,000 and something calories and binge on it, claiming that you are taking care of yourself. But the question is that exactly how to take care of yourself? Now, that being said, what is self-love? Now, I will define this exactly, but there are keywords I need you to take very notice of. So self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself, encompassing a positive view of one's own worth and well-being, and is achieved through action, right? That supports one's physical and psychological and spiritual growth. Now, so what I need you to pick there is that self-love is a state of appreciation of oneself, one. Then two is that it encompasses a positive view, positive understanding, positive energy, positive mindset, being optimistic. These are positive views. So it's encompassing a positive view of one's own worth and well-being. And then the other one is that is achieved through action. You can't achieve self-love by just knowing it, or by just thinking about it, or by just assuming it. It has to be through action. Now that brings me to where self-care and self-love differs. Somehow they look like they are the same, but they are not entirely the same, right? So now, where do they differ? Somehow, I would like to assume that self-love or self-care rather is like involve taking action. That self-care involves taking action to maintain a physical and mental well-being. Like you say, you are taking care of somebody. You are taking action to help the person to stay in good health, maybe help the person get one or two things together, take your medication and all that. But these actions, actions of self-love is meaningless if you are unable, if there is no love. It doesn't make any sense without love. That's what I'm trying to say. So self-love is much more deeper, like a fundamental sense of value of accepting oneself. So if you love yourself, then you will be able to take care of yourself seamlessly. You'll be able to prioritize yourself. You'll be able to place yourself first. Not, some people, if you call them, please, can you take me to so place? Are you free on so day? They won't bother checking their own calendar. They just say yes. And after saying yes, they come back and check their own calendar and adjust it, cancel things just to meet up with your own. I'm not saying that sacrificing is not good, but possibly that person is lacking in self-love. There are times to sacrifice, but there are times you just have to look out for your own self, because nobody will do that for you. So self-care is like a step you take to get to a starting line of a race, while the self-love is like the energy, in fact, everything that takes you through the race actually is what we call self-love. Now, is there a way for one to cultivate self-love, or maybe go from self-care so that you don't feel like, you can imagine being asked to take care of somebody you don't like or somebody you hate, your enemy, like how would you be feeling taking care of that person? Okay, so now if you want to deepen self-love, there are 4 key things you need to start considering or start doing. One is that you have to accept yourself. Accept your imperfection, accept yourself as you are, your struggle, your, bad side, habits. I'm not saying that you don't make efforts to change, but this is who you are at this point, and you're going to work yourself up from there. Like you're going to start getting better from there. Okay. Then another one is that you have to start prioritizing your well-being. A lot of us hardly prioritize our well-being. Like it doesn't matter so much to us. Now, another thing is setting boundaries, knowing where limits people can go, limit of access people have to you, essentially. So that's another thing you need to do. Accepting yourself, learning to prioritize yourself or your well-being, and then setting boundaries, and then being able to forgive yourself, your past mistake, your errors, your, being human sometimes. So that's one of the things. Then now, are there signs to show that one needs self-love? Sometimes we feel like we know it. Like if this is one of the things you can't even challenge people with, like thinking that they don't know how to love themselves. Everybody claims they know how to love themselves until we don't, until we make the mistakes, terrible mistakes. Some people make that mistake for a lifetime and they are parading, thinking they love themselves, they are taking care of themselves, but they are killing themselves. The only thing remaining is that they've not harmed themselves, but they are killing themselves gradual by gradual, and they are dying year in, year out. They are dying. The cells are dying because of habits, because of what they consume, because of what they dump on themselves. So that's why we are talking about self-love. Okay. So what are the signs or how signs that you need self-love? One is people pleasing. Well, at all times, you are a people pleaser. You want to please everybody, but only yourself. You need self-love. Criticizing yourself is okay. Like having a realistic sense of judgment about when things are right or when you are not doing fine, that's fine. But you see extreme and bad criticism of oneself. Some people, I don't know if anybody has been in a bad relationship, like toxic one, where there is calling of names and although you're stupid, you are that and that. That's exactly what some people do to themselves. Like, oh, I don't know how to do anything. I'm lazy. I'm stupid. I'm this and that. Of course, somebody said it. It's not the first time I'm hearing it. This is exactly what some people go through. Now, the next one is, how often do we ignore our needs? Our needs, be it nutrition wise, be it movement like activity, exercise, all those things. You know that you started a new job and that particular job demands that you sit on a seat for a very long time. So what you need is what? You need more extra time or free time to go and exercise and make sure that you move around. Or maybe even within every 20 minutes, 30 minutes or 1 hour, you need to stand up from seat and exercise yourself. That's what you need. But sometimes we just ignore it. Okay. So another one is staying in toxic situation, both whether it's toxic relationship, toxic workplace, toxic situation, toxic whatever it is actually. Even a family, if it's toxic, I think it should walk away. So these are things. If you have any of these signs, you need self-love. You need more and more self-love. If this sound familiar, then you can actually leave a comment there. So one thing I would want to leave with you as I get to the middle of this, because this is 17 minutes past 5 now. So I will be rounding up in the next 10-15 minutes. Self-love can be learned. Like, it's a practice thing. It's something that once you start doing it, you become conscious that I want to start loving myself. And then you start improving from there. That's one thing. So, but how do you get doing it? I'll give you 5 key ways you will start doing it. So you start improving on self-love. One of them will be change your self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? If you don't know how to do it, you can practice by staying in the mirror. Once you wake up, you've had your meditation, you've had, or whatsoever you want to do in the morning first, but walk to the mirror straight and talk to yourself. At least tell yourself 4-5 things that are positive. And throughout the day, try to be consciously talk to yourself in a positive way. Encourage yourself, motivate yourself. Tell yourself you are going to succeed for the day, that you will come back happy. Tell yourself all the good and good and good things. That's how it gets started. Then the next one, boundaries. Everybody have access to you. Everybody have access to you. How do you start limiting it? You have to start cutting down on people who have access to you. Yes. So next one is you have to start prioritizing self-care. Like we said, self-care is how you take care of yourself. So, and you need to make that a priority, because if you can't take care of yourself, I don't know what proofs you have to show that you love yourself again then. Okay? Then fourth is, it's some of us will wait or start deferring celebrations, or by the time I get this job, I will be happy, or that's when you want to. But what about any little step you take? You can actually celebrate that. Encourage yourself. Tell yourself, oh, this is so nice. I've done well for myself. And that encouragement fills you, refreshes you, and prepares you for the next step. That's exactly how it happens. So try to celebrate small wins. Don't wait for the whole thing to build up before you'll be able to celebrate small wins. Then another one, which I've discussed at some point last time, was perfection. Some of us, our problem is perfection. We can't do anything. We want it to be all perfect, all set before we'll be able to do anything. So if we'll be able to, let go of perfection and, feel free to fail and take correction from there. That would be very, very nice way to start. Now, rounding up, how do we overcome? There are sometimes you try to do all these things like practice self-care, and then set boundaries and all that, and yet it doesn't come. Like, it's difficult. You've tried your best and it just doesn't happen. So how do you overcome the self-love blocks? First, you see, this thing always being on social media can be very bad. Sometimes all the people you follow are the people that turns your energy upside down, turns your motivation upside down, turns your positivity to negative, your spirituality to, a negative. Once you are there on social media, things you'll be watching are things that by the time you are dropping the phone, you are finished. Like, you are on the negative side. So if you are able to see those people, unfollow them. Don't even think about it twice. Unfollow them. Then another thing is that if there is any wound or, trauma you've been through, it's time to heal. Like, it's time to heal. Pray, ask God to help you heal through that time, through those wounds and injuries and all that. Because if you heal, you will be able to know what fresh love look like. So remember, self-love is not easy. Self-love is tough. Self-love is not easy. Sometimes we feel like we know what is best for us, and then we end up missing it all along. someone has smoked for 40 something years, 50 something years, or have been drinking, binging, going to hospital drunk, sometimes with seizures, sometimes with all manner of things. It didn't just start that way. It started with full awareness until they get to a point that they can't control themselves. It has become a problem. They can't even resist it. So you have a long way to go, taking steps backward, and then start learning how to appreciate yourself, how to love yourself again. And that's how it starts. So I'll be ending here. This is 23 minutes past 5. So what we've just discussed now is on self-love. And we said that self-love is different from self-care, because self-care is basically how you know, take care of yourself. It's like a beginning of a race, but self-love is actually like the energy and like the spirit and fundamentally everything that helps you run the race. It helps you to treat yourself like someone you love. It helps you to place yourself first. It helps you to prioritize yourself. It helps you to grow as a person. So that's what we've discussed today. And I want to thank you if you are following or if you happen to watch a replay of this video. Please leave a comment and give me a highlight of where you find very much interesting. And if you want a copy of this discussion, I will find a way to send it to you if you leave a comment there. And if you also want to know when the next live session will happen, I have a WhatsApp channel that you can actually join, or maybe just follow me on Substack. See you next time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming to listen to what I have to say. Thank you. Bye-bye.